Hey, everybody, welcome back to episode 8 of Influencing Others. And this is part 3. And we left off in the sales and negotiation process. We were at step 4. And that step is ask key questions. So a question could be other than what you've mentioned already. What specifically do you want to get from this product or service? You could ask, what are you looking for from us as a service provider or as a product provider? And not if the product's in development. If it's already out there and it's a product that they're not interested in, then they already probably didn't qualify, but that's up to you to determine. So another question you could ask is, what key factors will determine if you'll use our product or service? Another question could be, if you had to sell yourself to us in order to be qualified to participate with us, what would you say? So you're basically getting them to tell you what they need to hear from themselves, like it's their idea. But it doesn't mean that they're talking themselves into anything. If it's their idea and it works for them, then great. They're just having their eyes opened up to it and you're influencing them. If it's their idea and it's not for them, you're not influencing them, and anything trying to get them to do something after that would be manipulation, which is not what we're talking about. We're talking about influence. It's something that they already want, and you're just opening their eyes and engagement so that they can raise their energy level and say, oh, okay, I can get emotionally connected. So in terms of asking key questions, you could also ask, what challenges do you see that might prevent you from taking on this product or service? And lastly, you might ask them specifically, you to them, how can I help you overcome those challenges? So now you're making sure that you're getting all their questions answered, especially their hard questions. Then you want to look at your level of engagement. You want to say, is my level of engagement high, medium, or low? And then you want to look at their level of engagement as well. So that, again, you can match their energy and create the most influence between you guys or gals or both. Then in part 5, you're going to do what's called ask for a conditional commitment. Question could be, if we were able to meet all of your needs and overcome any challenges, what will you do? That doesn't mean they're going to choose you. You're just asking them what they would do. And now you're clear on whether they would choose you or not, which is cool. Because now you know, can we continue? Should we go on to the next part? Look at your level of engagement and their level of engagement and say, is it high, medium, or low? Again, that way, because now you're doing a system where you're creating for yourself connectivity between you and the other person, and you're creating the opportunity to keep your energy anabolic and be consciously aware of it all the time. So the part 6 is something called answer questions. So they might have questions that you haven't asked yet. So keep in mind, specify exactly how you'll meet their needs and alleviate their pain. So whenever they ask you a question, make sure that if it's applicable to what you do and what you offer, you bring it back around and say, oh, that's a great question, and this is how we handle it. And by the way, our company does this specifically to handle it. If you don't do that, that's a great time to also say, you know what, that's a really great question. We don't do that. You can either make a referral and say, we know a company that does do that, which is a great way to do business, as long as you're referring great partners. And if you don't know of a referral source, you could say, you know, we don't do that. I'm sorry, but we don't offer that. Hopefully you can find somebody that can offer you that and complete and fulfill on what you're looking for. So the last part of the sales and negotiation process is 7, the close. And sometimes people get afraid of this part because they're like, oh my God, I have to go out there and always be closing a sale or whatever it is to make the sale, and it's so stressful. But let's look at the close and say what you can do and what you can say with the people that you're involved with. Again, with part 6, look at your level of engagement before I go to 7. Look at your level of engagement and see if it's high, medium, or low, and look at their level of engagement, see if it's high, medium, or low. And then level 7, sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit, is the close. And that's where you would say to them, what other questions do you have that we haven't covered? What do you need in order to be able to move forward with us? How can we help you move forward with us or with this? And if you can't, so be it. Measure your level of engagement and theirs, high, medium, or low. And basically, what did you notice about yourself and the sales negotiation process? Me trying to say negotiation. And that's what you probably noticed. So what did you notice about yourself and the process in terms of your emotions, in terms of like where you're catabolic, where you're anabolic, where you're afraid to do it, where you're like awesome at it? And then next question, what blocks are holding you back from becoming more engaged in those aspects of the process? Another question to ask yourself is, where are you and your client and where are you guys at different levels? So you might be a 3 and they might be a 5, and then when you see that, you'll say, okay, so what's the impact of that difference in energy levels? So like if they're all gung-ho and you're all timid and you're not necessarily gung-ho with them, what's that going to look like in that negotiation process instead of meeting them where they are with rapport? And how might that affect the outcome of your conversation with them? So another question to ask yourself is, looking back in situations where your level of engagement is higher than your client's, how might you motivate and inspire your client to achieve higher levels of energy? So again, you're just looking to influence them in some of the techniques that we're already using. And let's look at the 8 keys, and we'll wrap up here on this lesson. The 8 keys to effective sales and negotiations. We're going to list them out, and we can have you consider your energy levels around those key points. And I'll show you how to get the most out of that section. So basically, it's just 1 through 8. These keys to effective sales are: first one is price and other monetary considerations. Second is skill level. Third is references, credibility, or experience. Fourth is knowledge. Fifth is authenticity. Sixth is enthusiasm. 7 is energy. And 8 is confidence. One of the things you're going to notice is that the last 4 are the ones you have the most attitudinal control over. So, what's your level of authenticity, enthusiasm, energy, confidence? That's where your anabolic energy is going to really shine when you're looking at being an effective salesperson. And then from there, what's the knowledge of your product and service? Do you know it like the back of your hand? Are you right there with it? What are your references and credibilities and testimonials when your experience? How many years have you been doing this? Like if somebody said, Francis, how long have you been a coach? I'd say since 2010. I've been being a coach since 2010. And I have references and testimonials that are on my Instagram and on my website that I hope you go check out. So then that way you can say, oh, what work have you done and who have you done that kind of work with? What's my skill level? So in that case, you want to say, what, am I educated? Have I learned in the streets? Have I learned in the schools? Have I learned, the ways of life through a family business? What's my skill level with this? And how much of a master am I? And with price and other monetary considerations, assess your engagement, your ability, and your comfort level, and your level of energy with it, so that you can write comments on that and then really just know where you're at. So thanks for watching this segment on episode 8 on influencing others. Give me 1 second. I dropped a piece of paper, and I realized that in dropping that piece of paper, the next segment, which is episode 9, is problem solving. So in that segment, we're going to learn when certain problems come up, how you can shift your energy to be aware of when you're catabolic, and then understand where you're going to be anabolic, so that you can solve the problems more easily and then get problems handled before they even become problems, so your solutions don't even have to be implemented. Again, like I said, if a lot of this is resonating with you and you want to know specifically how this could help you determine, what am I doing in my life and with my goals and with my success, and where am I at and how can I be accountable, you can definitely contact me in the comments and let me know how this training helps you and what trainings you might want to see in the future. Like if you I saw you did something on public speaking and you did a brief bit about it as part of your training. Can you do more on public speaking? Absolutely. Can I do more on sales and negotiation? If you want, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to have a one-to-one complimentary consultation with you. You can DM me and we can have conversations about where you're going with what your success looks like. So again, to wrap up, I'm introducing the next episode, which will be episode 9, problem solving. See you there. And I hope you put all of this influencing on others of episode 8 to great use. Have a great night.